Here we go. It's a Tuesday night. We got some guys on the DL, the IR, whatever the fuck they're calling it these days. I was like, it's been a couple weeks. Pouring myself a beer. I figure, you know what? I'll jump on here for a quick 20, 15, 20. You know how that usually goes. And we'll give a little recap. We've had a lot of shit happen the last couple weeks. I've been getting back. I've been drinking a shitload of. The bar near me has. It's the beer store. It's Bert's Beers, right down the street from me. He has a little pub inside, and he has 8 taps. Great beer selection. But he got the Spaten Oktoberfest, one of my all-time favorite beers. So I've just been going in there and crushing them, loving it. Mug Club member, so I get an extra 4 ounces. It's fucking great for the same price. But I'm back on these smoothie sours too. They're just like little desserts. It's a little Drecker. But yeah, kind of weird little week. Almost jumped on. Almost said something last week. I'm like, maybe not. I get why the majors went right, but or because they're all down there. But man, state everybody was evacuating and couldn't get gas and all that, and decisions were made, and looks like it was still a great weekend, and people got down there safely in the southeast worlds. Um, but I know a lot of people were very upset, disappointed. You play all year and um, not able to go. I know Coco was really upset. He was looking forward to the weekend away and get down and play some ball, get down to Vieira and just kind of hang out and see what Bad Beat had in store for them. But there's been a lot going on, so we'll get the show going. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bring It. I'm solo, so I'm going to throw it to myself. But we're going to get going here. We got a lot to go through on what's happened. We started off here right with the women's B. Jesus Christ, last Tuesday, a week ago Tuesday, we had the women's B tournament. And we had a couple of teams in it from up here as well. Legacy finishing fourth. They went 3-2. They were the highest finishing non-conference team. So Chalk Talk, NCN, and Eat It, all conference B teams go 1, 2, and 3. Legacy, a non-conference team, finished fourth with 9 runs for and 7.2 runs allowed. Nice little differential there, a little 1.8. But they finished higher than a couple of other conference teams, which is great to see. Grip It and Rip It finished 1 and 2. They finished ninth. Would like to give a little love to KB. Katie Betancourt, heard she had a pretty bad injury down there. Hopefully, just saw something on Facebook. Hopefully, everything goes well. Speedy recovery to KB. Big loss for that Grip It team as well. But anytime you go down to Florida and you have somebody get injured like that, you hate to see it. So hopefully KB bounces back quickly and can be in the dugout for her real job. As much as some of us would like softball to be our real job, it's not. And she can be back in the dugout come February. Yeah, I think they start spring ball up around then. But congratulations to Molly Hamill and Sam Klutz on the all-tournament team for the women's B. Legacy started off. They beat Fresh 8-7, another close one. Beat NCN. Nice little 10-2 win for them, then lost to Eat It, the other conference B team. Then they move on down into the losers bracket. I just had this all written down. They moved into the losers bracket, beat Lady DC, and then lost to NCN 8-6. So not a bad little run. Grip It, on the other hand, they won their first game 7-6. Both early games very close. And then Grippet ran into one of our favorite team names, the Angry Beavers. Didn't do so well in the B, but the Angry Beavers did very well in the A. But then Grippet moves on down into the losers bracket, lost to Momentum out of Utah, and Grippet could not grasp any of the momentum for that game. But, you know, would have loved to have seen both of these teams make a little deeper run, especially with how strong the B division has been up here this year. But I guess, when you have the number 4 team, a non-conference team, finishing ahead of 3 other conference teams, and only finishing in the backseat to 3 that finished 1 through 3 play conference all year. Hell of a feat from the Legacy ladies. A lot of fun. Really looking forward to seeing how this B division continues to grow up here for next year. Again, congrats to Molly Hamill and Klutz on the all tournament selections. And then we head on over to the Women's A, which started up on Wednesday. Right away. Got to get this going. You got to play like 17 tournaments down there if you're in the women's side. You're on the B, B team, women's B team. You're going to get your money's worth. You're going to play like 48 tournaments. You have a chance to play a long time. Legacy, again, started off against Momentum, took a little revenge on them for the Grippet ladies. They beat them 21-14, lost to Colossal in the next game 11-6. Our friends from Indiana finally returning, the Pork Pistols. Pork Pistols made a nice little run. They beat Fresh, then they beat Rogue, a Conference A team, 13-3. I believe Rogue was Conference A this year. Pardon me. I've got a little bit of a sniffle going or something. I'm trying to get rid of it. Yep, Rogue Conference A out of Jersey, beat them 13-3. And then they faced off against Legacy Bellies, another Indiana team, lost 12-6. They are also a Conference A team. So, nice little run there by the Pork Pistols as they drop down into the losers bracket. They made a little bit of a run, beat Prime, and then they ran into the Angry Beavers, who the Angry Beavers went all the way to the ship and lost to Colossal, finishing second. But our New Hampshire Legacy ladies, they dropped down after their second game loss. They had Black Hills Home Services out of Washington, lost 1-0. Not sure what happened there. Didn't really check in. I'd be very surprised if it was a 1-0 game. But anyway, moving on into the results there. Danielle Delegata, back in the beginning of the season with Anarchy. She's an Anarchy pro. Was on the show. So a guest of the show. Selected to the all-tournament team. Congratulations to Danielle. And that's about all. Love this. Love this right here. Schleyball showing up and as the B World champs. The fucking Eli Real. These boys last year had a hell of a run in D. Yeah, I said D, as in dodgeball. Had a hell of a run in D. Saw Josh back at the Challenge Cup saying, fuck, I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do in C. And he goes, well, you're probably not going to see what we do in C. We're looking at playing Conference B. I'm like, naturally, just go from D to Conference B. Can't do the C Worlds because it's a big horse show for his family. So he can't make it down to C Worlds, and they put together a B team that was right away. I remember being down at the duel, and they made some noise right away. I want to say they took down Straight Play in the first game. No, not Straight Play. Straight Play in the first game of the duel, I believe. It was Straight Play. I mean, it was an absolute fucking slugfest going back and forth. That was their first tournament. They finished 2-2 in the first in the first half of the duel. Went 1-2. They scored 119 runs in 4 games, 29.75. Unbelievable start. This team showed up, made everybody take notice. They beat Straight Play 40-36. They lost to Sports Reach 42-41. Then they go and beat another conference AA team in West Point and then lost to Cheap Suits. So their first 3 games, as they opened up in the duel, they faced 3 conference AA teams and lost to them by a combined 2 runs. Big Drew, I missed you too, big guy. We're going to get into that towards the end of the show. I'm only going to be on for about 20 minutes or until this beer's gone. Once this beer's gone, I'm gone. But yeah, hell of a run by these boys. Great group of dudes too. But Josh made some nice pickups throughout the year. And we saw it here. I mean, this team showed up at the B and put together a hell of a showing. What do we have? The Final 4 in the winners bracket. We had Cedar Creek. We had Cutthroat. We had J&L Sports and Eli Real. 3 out of the 4 Amish teams. Cedar Creek, this is another young team that's kind of been coming up through the ranks. They did it at E, did it at D, or did it at C. Like, you kind of get the fucking gist of it here. They beat Thunder 19-14. Then they took down Cutthroat 9-4. And then J&L and Eli Real 15-13 ball game. Real hell of a good game here. Great Final 4 in the winners bracket. Thunder had probably a little disappointing showing, I would imagine, if you talk to Joel and the boys. They beat Future Ones 37-8. Lost to Cedar Creek 19-14. Heading on down into the losers bracket. Then they lost to Solo Daddies 11-6. So not ideal, but tell you what, another team that I was a little surprised by, it was good to see back on the field, was happy to see them win their first game, was PF. Platinum Fire was back here, 28-12. They beat Axe out of Washington. Like seeing these guys back on the field and back at it. They won their first game, got a nice little dub, lost their second, won their first losers bracket game, lost to Solo Daddies? Soul Dados. Sold Ados. Texas team. Soldados. You guys know how good I am with my Mexican and my Hispanic pronunciation. It's not great. Tex-Mex. I don't have that Tex-Mex. I'm not a fucking kitty cat. But PF lost to them 50-11, a face-off against Thunder. And then they beat Thunder 11-6. Actually, they went on a nice little run here. Finally losing to J&L. But I tell you, this Eli Real team, they ended up playing Cedar Creek. 11-6 ball game. J&L Sport came back through the losers bracket. And the Eli Real said, fuck this. We're here. We want one game. We don't want to play an if game. We're lactose intolerant, so we don't want any fucking ice cream around us. 25-10, nice little run rule to get yourself the world title. Now, this is back-to-back years where you have this part of the country winning B Worlds. Last year, you had the Van Wert Frickers, who were out of Ohio, Van Wert, Ohio. And now you have Eli Real, who are out of Wooster, Ohio. So Ohio, in case you guys haven't noticed, they put some fucking ball together. I'm going to be curious to see what Eli Real does next year. We'll be very curious to see what they do, see how they build this team, how they continue to grow. Great showing in the first year of Conference B, jumping up from D. You win the B Worlds. I mean, this team throughout the year, it's not an easy task being a Conference B team and showing up to those Conference A events and doing, typically you see those Conference B teams typically struggle. Maybe the schedule outside of the travel and the cost may have helped this team a little bit, but Pocket City back in August, 1-2, 2-1, 2 showings, and then the Memorial Major 1-2, and then the second half of the duel 1-2. Outside of that, 2-2 at the first half of the duel, 3-2 Windy City, Crown Town 3-2, Smoky 2-2. Fucking, they get to the B tournament 5-0. And then they go into the A tournament, go 3-2. Like, this team's going to be good. They made some very key pickups this year, going from D to Conference B. I'm sure Josh has some things up his sleeve to make some really good pickups next year to add to his team to make that jump into Conference A. And I don't see why these boys couldn't make another run next year. I'm sure the same core will be will stick together, and it's a fun team, good bunch of guys, really fun. I was really happy to see these guys win. Plus the fact that Josh has been on the show a couple times, hangs out, and like to shoot the shit with them. I root for these guys, and they got that big fucking ox behind the dish, Ben Young. Big oxen. They grow them a little differently out there. Heading on into the, let's see, sorry about this, results. Tournament MVP, William Malavar. Tournament MVP, Derek Miller from JNL, offensive. John Schleybaugh, the defensive tournament MVP. And then you got Josh Schleybaugh, Kyle Slicker, David Schwartz, Carlin Yoder, Zachary Sterry, Johnny Hostetler, Tim Candell, all tournament teams from the World B champions. Hey, Drew, thanks for stopping by, bud. We will see you soon. Hopefully I'll see you around next year. I gotta talk to DW. I need to be back on that mic. We can't have another fucking Worlds like that without me down there. This year was a little different. Even if I could have made it with the hurricane, I probably wouldn't have come. Wasn't gonna fly down to Florida with the hurricane and everything going on. So now we're heading over to the men's A. Men's A, God, you had a nice little 29 team tournament. Real good tournament, real good team. And this is last year. Yeah, I-57 Roofing Beachies, a team we expected a lot out of last year at B Worlds. They come out big. They made some nice, adoptions this year, additions to the team, and they had a really strong year as well in Conference A. Again, I'm starting to, you see this, you're playing conference every weekend, and then you make it into your A or B World tournaments, and it really helps out. They are 15-5 against Conference A teams. 11-12 against the double A's. Again, I-57 Roofing started off in the Sin City Major, finishing 4th, 0-2 in the first half of the duel, 3-2 in the second half, and then just they played a lot. I don't think they missed many events. Finished 4th they won the men's A, 4th at the double A, 4th at the majors. Not fucking bad. 5th at the conference championships, although that was a little rain-induced. But they had a solid season. They finished below 500 on a weekend one time, and that was it. Not bad, and obviously it helped these boys out going into the Conference A, the A Worlds. They didn't need, they came out. They didn't need a second game. They took care of it against the Bay Area Legends, 19-4 right away. Man, Eli Real made it to the Final 8. Orlando Oliveira was the tournament MVP. I-57 Roofing wins it. Bay Area Legends 2, Cheap Suits 3, Prime Time 4. LSR was hoping for a little more, as I'm sure they were, but I haven't talked to Lacey. I do need to give him a call. Do need to give Lacey a call. See how the weekend went. He actually asked me about my baby about probably 2 months ago. I just never called him back yet because it's, you get a newborn in the house and then you get back to work and things get a little hectic. Nice to see here, though, Thunder. The Thunder, the Chosen Boys, finishing 7th. Nice little 4-2 from them. They were the second highest finishing B team. Cutthroat Sports out of California finished 5th. So nice to see the local boys here, the Chosen Boys. Saw today on DW's rumor show that they're going to be bumping up to A, which I'll be curious to see how that goes for them. That'd be great. Get some more eyes on groups from up here, players from up here, and just traveling more. Heading on over, I'm telling you, this is an action-packed week leading up to the World Series, the Men's World Series. From when the men and women at the B level start, it is nonstop. We're gonna start flying through this. I got a pack still. So Legacy girls playing in the GSL AB. Connecticut Storm playing in the GSL AB. Rhode Island Sharks playing in the GSL AB. Grip It. Bobby pins are down there. So you started to see some of the other teams that we saw up here all year make it down. I do understand. This was on the weekend. It's tough during the week to take a week off of work, depending upon what your occupation is. Sharks, not a great showing. Unfortunately for them, went 0-2. Connecticut Storm goes 1-2. Bobby pins 1-2. Grip It goes 3-2. Good bounce back from the ladies. OA Apparel, Grip It. And then Legacy looking to go back-to-back in the GSL AB. They came up just short to Shigon out of Virginia. I believe it was in the IF game, too, if I'm not mistaken. It was. Game 1, 9-8. Legacy wins. They force it to the WEN game, 12-6. Shigon took them down. TC Pitcher is a team that Legacy has been coming up against throughout their careers. Legacy beats them 14-4 to go to the winners bracket semifinals. To go to the championship game. So, nice little run for the ladies again. The GSL AB, the Legacy women love this tournament. Kayla Riley, offensive tournament MVP. Klutz, Aaron Clark, Nicole Bregler, Marissa Jenkins, all tournament players as well. Pork Pistols had a nice little showing here too as they finished 4th. Women's World Series. Shocking. Derby girls. It came down to Derby girls taking on Monster La Familia. Monster La Familia forces the WEN game by beating Derby girls 9-8, and then Derby girls just put it on them 22-10. Derby girls come up with a huge win. Bubba with a big walk-off there at the end. Megan Baltzel, she was back on the show back in the beginning of the year when the women's game was women's conference schedule was starting. So congratulations to Derby girls and Megan Baltzel and to the rest of the team. What we're going to start doing too is we're going to start getting guests back on here. We're going to have another show probably later explaining the direction things are going. A lot of things are up in the air. We don't know. We kind of need like a little reset button here. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep you guys informed. Men's C, women's D. This just sucks. Like, congratulations to the teams that made it down there from up here. there was just a lot of teams I was looking forward to seeing what the fuck they were going to do down there. I know people were disappointed with how it was handled, to be honest with you. People were very disappointed with how it was handled. I'm sitting here from the outside looking in, just saying kind of like Joey Cap today was on the DW Hit and Sit show. He was saying, why not move it to November 1st? I'll get out of hurricane season. This year was projected to be a bad hurricane season to begin with. The D World's had a hurricane. The not as bad Milton, this one wasn't as powerful landfall as they potentially were predicting, but it was still a pretty fucking bad one. A lot of people, a lot of devastation, especially on the back of the first one. I get it. It's a tough situation. It's a tough logistics call there. So I tell you what, Fisher softball, hell of a year they had. They won One Nation Worlds, U-Trip Sea Worlds, GSL East. They had another ring in there. That's a hell of a season for this team. I'm very, very, very curious to see them next year at B. But this team's been together for a while. They've continued to grow the ranks as well. But a couple teams here that were a little surprising in the C division, just based upon how their year went. Right? Season Athletics. Yes, I'm looking at you. We've dogged these guys all fucking year. Good team, just never really put it together. Well, those boys went down there, went 3-2, and finished 5th. Love that. AZ, Big Dog. They finished 9th, going 3-2 with a negative run differential. So, couple local teams finished in the top 10, but again, I wanted to see the Chiefs. I wanted to see Bad Beat. Wanted to see AUIT. I wanted to see what those 3 teams were going to do. Not to take anything away from anybody that was down there, but I don't know. This one just didn't have the same feeling as the rest of them. Unfortunately, and that's the thing. We all play our whole year to get to Florida for the tournament, and fucking Mother Nature has another thought process. On the women's side, I don't even know if any of our local teams that we follow make it down there. Nobody. I think Juju played with Lady SFS. But yeah, that was you had a team from Ohio, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri, Michigan. Everybody else was in their backyard. And then heading on over to the women's D. Now, this tournament was 13 teams, which again, you don't fucking love, right? You don't love it where you play all year and you get down there and it's 13 teams. You're playing in a hurricane. You're worrying about, I can't even imagine being a Florida team and hoping my house is going to be okay. Pardon me. But this was you have 13 teams down there. You had 3 Connecticut teams. You had Big Dog Ladies, Game Up Girls, and Venom. Venom, strong program's been around for a while out of Connecticut. I got to tell you what. Unfortunate ending to the year for the Venom Ladies. By God damn it, fucking love it. They finished 2nd. They are in the queen seat. They beat Lady Psychoville 15-5 in the winner's bracket final to go to the ship. Lady Psychoville beat Morkel Bell 11-5 to get a rematch. They beat Venom 3-2 in the first game and then turned back around and beat them up 9-2 in the second. Unfortunate, however, great to see Venom, team that's been strong. Team's been around for a little bit here. I think we're finally going to see them in C next year. After going their 1158 power ranking, they're 23-9-1 in class, 26-17-1 overall. Really, really good little team. Finished 4th at the Test of the Best. Finished 3rd at the Women's Bash for the Cash, which was a B tournament. Finished 3rd at the C Regionals. Not bad. Like, love this. Love to see what these ladies are going to do and see. Hopefully we'll see Bree at the Hall of Fame dinner, but hopefully we'll get her on here beforehand. Would love to get Bree or somebody from Venom on the show just to kind of talk about the experience and the thought process. The E tournament kicks off Thursday. The E tournament down in Florida is going to kick off on Thursday. So, wild thing here. 39 teams are over 1,100 power ranking. It's 100. What is 110 teams, and 39 teams are over 1,100 in the power ranking. That's not bad. That's 35%. Small ball out of the Seacoast. They're out of Berwick, Maine, I believe. Really curious to see how this team does. They've peaked at the right time. They've won the big tournaments. Now you're going to Florida. Can you win another one? Diamond Dynasty, I think they're the top power ranked team in E. Just the D team was high up there as well. Sway Athletics out of Long Island. Can they make the run? They won regionals. Can they make a run at Worlds now? And then nothing personal. The team's done well as well. They just won a tournament this past weekend. I think small ball did as well. There's a couple teams here. This E tournament, I'm very curious to see what these top end teams do. Anybody that's going to make it interesting. On the flip side of it, part of the interesting thing is here too is seeing the teams that are just going down for vacation, right? Like some teams, sometimes you're just like, you know what, fuck it. We're 4-23 in class. Let's still go to Florida and have some fun. We're 2-10, 13-33. Why not? Why not go play Worlds? You never know what's going to happen. So, I've been doing all this talking. I haven't even been drinking. But then lastly, last little piece here is, so I was listening to the Hit and Sit show today, and yeah, I miss being down at Worlds. I love it. I love being on the mic. I texted DW. Him and Lacey were on air. I texted him. I said, listen, I'll be there next year. But Joey Cap brought up a really good point where, why don't you just let people stream? Like, let the influencers, and I'm saying what he said, let the influencers, just stream. Like, they have these platforms. Why not to help broaden and horizon, or, bring the attention to the game. You can make it more localized. I can guarantee you, none of us make any fucking money off of it. I don't think it's a bad idea. Listen, I get it. I understand why U-Trip doesn't want that. Here's my thing. Out of the subscribers or the people that listen and interact with us, the people that were watching us and had the subscription, they would put another game on in the background and still watch us. The people that didn't have a subscription still haven't gone out and gotten a subscription. I'm sure that's probably the same across everybody. I think back to the Chaos ladies and how we kind of became friendly with them because of that and helping grow the game, and just kind of putting a spotlight on the local players, and now, different people across the country that we've gotten to meet. I understand the business side of it, but I love that Joey Cap was saying that. You have Treyway Slays. Not sure how he got. I think he had a deal with U-Trip to do a couple games. I'm not gonna call out other people that are streaming just because if you haven't gotten the letter, I don't want to help them give you the letter. But it's cool because you tune in, you get different people's flair. You get different people's knowledge of the game, but also you get different people speaking about people they know, right? Drew Hall was in here. I met him at the Duel, right? But let's say there's somebody in Alabama streaming games and I stumble across their games and they know all the, Bishop Harris, all those Alabama guys, Cardwell and Hall. And now he's given it a little bit of a different spin, right? Now you go out to Ohio and you have allegedly somebody out there that streams. Now you're getting a little more insight into it, and it's just fun, man. I think it'd be cool. And I think it just grows, where we're seeing lower numbers in, I want to say the E tournament's down, that 110. That sounds lower than last year's. D was lower than last year's. Where everybody's so worried about this being a dying sport, how do platforms like this just grow? We're not making money like that. If that's the concern. I do think people still will use. People that have subscriptions are going to continue to buy them. I think getting rid of certain portions of the subscription hurt. I know it helped parents watch games because it's not easy to find where your son or daughter, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband are playing if you're not savvy between the brackets and going to USSAlive.com and then finding the field. And then what if the stream's down? Or what if the scoreboard's wrong, or what if the game's ahead or back? So, make it easier, get more eyes on it, can have some fun with it. Again, that's a higher level conversation. But I like that Joey Cap brought it up. Yeah. And I think we've got another one or two of these in us right now. I think everybody's got life going on and stuff. I feel like it's been rushed for the three of us to get on here lately. So this is way longer than I thought it was going to be, but I'm going to try to, even if it's a quick hit on Tuesday nights, or maybe we move it to Wednesdays, we'll see. But there's a lot of things going on. We got to figure out, maybe there's just a little break here and then jump back in for Challenge Cup, get her going. We'll see. Yeah, but we'll figure everything out. Thanks for tuning in. It's been great. Thanks for everybody that sent some nice messages and gave some shout outs this weekend. Definitely miss being down there. And hey, maybe if I'm closer, it's easier to get there. So have a great week. We'll see you next week, I hope. And till then, hit some fucking BP.